So the solution, all right, the good stuff. Remove the cause, which is the inflammation, and fix the cell. Now this is the information that really changed my life, because I did the diet and the exercise, and I did the hawthorn and the, the dandelion root. You hear about these things, So I did that. I was that doctor that did that. And some people got well to an extent, but then when my life fell apart and I was doing these things, I'm like, okay, something's missing. So it's really about getting to the cell. And a lot of these foot detoxes and, different programs that are out there, they're not healing at the cellular level. There's places for it, and it can help support healing, but we're not getting to the core of what's going on. But cellular inflammation. So look at this, new science of health. Inflammation seems to underlie not just deterioration with age, but the chronic illness that comes with it. Diabetes, atherosclerosis, Alzheimer's, heart attack, cognitive function decline, premature aging, and even cancer to an extent. So we are inflamed. So now we're going to get into what's causing this stuff, and not only just reverse diabetes and start losing weight. It's about getting your life back, healing, aging gracefully. Okay? That's what it's about. We can suppress symptoms all day long. We have that down in this country, but we're not getting our life back. Okay, here, even Time magazine is the secret killer. When inflammation becomes chronic, the body turns on itself with other effects that seem to underlie a wide variety of diseases. And there are tests that help you determine if your cells are inflamed, to find out your cause. Are your cells inflamed? We're going to get into what causes inflammation, but inflammation is the cause, the underlying cause of chronic disease. If you're sick, you're inflamed. Okay, and this test, who's had this test done in their doctor's office? I'll give you $100.
Nobody.
Well, this test is worth like $1,000 because it's going to get to the cause. And this is one of the tests that's actually done in the office. It's called the meta-oxy. So let me go back and tell you what is cellular inflammation. So I'm getting back to the cell. Again, we have ATP. We have mitochondria, where I think, ATP is created in the mitochondria. And that's like a cell within a cell that has its own membrane. That's where we get our energy. Then we have our DNA. All kinds of stuff is going on in this cell. Just think of our cell as micro versions of us. We take in stuff, we process, we eliminate. The cell does the same thing. Okay? Remember, cell from your mom, cell from your dad. Those cells became 4 cells, 4 became 8, 8 became 16. We're just cells. So we got to remember how miraculous our bodies actually are. We're just a glob of cells that's functioning and relating to each other. That's just amazing in itself. Back to the cell, you got the membrane. I said that's fat and cholesterol. And then we have the receptors. So again, I was talking about insulin, thyroid hormone. If you have thyroid issue, we have the T4. And T4 has to convert to T3 at the cellular level. This happens in the liver cells, but if your liver is toxic, you can't convert T4 to T3. So you got to look at where this stuff is created and what's going on. Minerals, and this is why you can have the perfect diet, but if your cells are inflamed, they're not getting into the cell to create the messages that are needed. And then in a healthy cell, we do get toxins, okay? But think about all the other things that are going around increasing this load, causing more toxins. And then what happens is there's 2 things that happen. I said it before, the cells either die, premature aging, things like wrinkles, looking older than you should, even symptoms like hair loss, things like that. That's premature death of the cell, or mutation, which is cancer. And then in a minute, we're going to get into the things that cause the inflammation. So the meta-oxy actually measures if your cells are dying prematurely. And it's 50 times more accurate than blood testing. So this is why a lot of people say, I got my blood work, and everything looks normal, okay? Because blood stays in homeostasis. It tries to stay balanced as much as possible. So things don't show up in the blood until it's end stage. So that's why. So this is a really early test. And I do a lot of tests to help catch things early on before you get the cancer or any other illness.